Well, hello, YouTubers. Today, we're going to talk about NextMug, and it's for keeping your beverages warm, hot, or piping hot, as you'll see in the video. So, I purchased this for $100, $99.95 to be exact, via Amazon, and it was delivered early the next morning before 6 a.m. It was one of those overnight deliveries. So sit back and relax and watch us unbox it, set it up, and take some sips from it. Well, I thought for this unboxing, that what I'd like to do is also show it to you next to the Ember cup that I have. So this is, I've been using it for several years and I have no issues with it. Let me put it to the side. Let's take a look at what we have here. So NextMug, a Colorado company, they seem to have a line of products that are not just coffee cups, that are larger than that, etc. So let me see what this looks like, and we'll compare it and test it. I also have a person that was kind enough to give me a review of theirs, and so we'll see if we agree, and if so, I will read their review because it was so well written. So inside we have welcome, user manual, plug. We'll look at that in a moment. Nice recyclable part there. So here is my 14-ounce mug from NextMug. Cord is bulky here, as you could see. Here's the charging pad. So here is the NextMug charging pad, and here's the Ember charging pad. Ember is quite a bit larger, as you could see here, has 2 pins over to the side, and NextMug is significantly smaller and has 2 pins smack in the middle. Well, it looks like one key difference so far. This is the NextMug, which is a little bit rounder looking. It has a top that makes it a travel mug. It's got a nice rubber gasket around it that seems to keep it. So that's kind of nice. Let's show you side by side here. And the underneath where you see it'll charge. There. And again, we'll put this on. And we'll go ahead and we'll charge it up for the first time and kind of get it going and let you see what it actually looks like and how it works. Well, I'm going to begin the charging of the mug, but I do want to mention a few things. My Ember mug had a Wi-Fi connection, actually a Bluetooth connection, I believe, and allowed me to set the temperature, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't used it since the day I set it up. On the other hand, the NextMug has temperature settings on the actual mug, and there's 3 settings. There's warm, hot, and piping hot. I think piping hot is 150 degrees, warm is 140, I'm sorry, hot is 140, and I have to check what warm is. Hot is the temperature of my preference that I really like. And so I have it plugged in. And let me see here if anything happens. Let me try to get it for you so you could see it here. You could see it was somewhat charged. The three lights have to be solid. And when they're solid, they'll show you that it's fully charged. Anyway, you could see that, or maybe you can't see. There are two of the. It's two-thirds full, charge-wise, is what I should mention to you. So this button here is the control button. It's called on NextMug, and one push turns it on and off. And then it'll set it on the heat setting that you choose. And I'll wait until I get it fully charged and we'll do that. So I'm letting it charge up right now. We have a few things here, light-wise. So we have these green lights, which are nothing more than the battery level. So of course, when they're steady and all three are lit, we're fine. We also have on the side here, I don't know if you could see these, there's some white lights blinking, and those lights are for the temperature control. So one push of the control button sets it on warm, hot, piping hot. And this, when I read the review from the person who did the review first for me, or at least used it the first time, I think they and I have the same opinion about this. So here we go. We're going to let that go ahead and finish charging up for the first time. Well, I have made my first cup of coffee with my Keurig, and it's in the cup. But the first thing is, I don't think the cup is on, right? I think I have to press that button. And this is a bit of a pain. Where's the button? I think it's here. Nope. Okay. So I pushed the button, which is here. It's a little bit cumbersome. And now I think it automatically goes to warm when you press it. And let's see here. I don't know if you could see the lights are on here. I'm going to press it again, and it's now on, I believe that's on hot, which is the temperature I prefer. So I'm not positive. I'll learn that quickly. But I think you could see that that was a little bit cumbersome, one, to turn it on. So I'll have to double check. I assume that means it must automatically shut off. Right now, it's a brand new cup of coffee, so it's the temperature would have come out of the machine on. And now, as best as I know, having read a little bit in the instructions about this, it seems like, based on the temperature I'm using, which is the medium or the hot temperature, without the top, the sippy cup, it would be about 1.5, just over 1.5 hours of time that it's expected to stay at the hot temperature. With the top on, it's about 4 hours. Both are significantly more than I need, to be quite honest with you. I usually have a couple of cups of coffee in the morning, sometimes one, most of the time two. So if drinking 2 cups of coffee, would it be more than an hour and a half? No, I don't believe so. Having the top would be nice in that if I walked to another room, went upstairs, wherever I went with it, I wouldn't have to worry about spill. So that's nice. I don't see this as being able to go into a cup holder in my car. Just because of the size of the actual NextMug. It looks like it's way too big to do that. So in the Ember cup, I was able and I could use the app to change the temperatures. On this one, it looks like I have to push a button on the cup. Sounds like, oh, wow, big deal. But the big deal was actually the button itself. Where is it? How to find it? Will I get used to it? Probably. It doesn't look, the Ember cup, after you take it off, it just stays on all the time. You pick it up and it's ready to go. This looks like you have to actually turn it on. And again, this is not a big problem. The real question is, will it in fact keep things warm for a good amount of time? So right now it's been about 7 minutes. So I'm going to pause us here and wait a little bit longer and come back and see how we're doing. So I just went through the instructions and the information that was provided. So the cup itself, I think I showed you, was blinking, and it showed it at piping hot. So you see where I have it set, you could see in the middle, that line. So I have it set on hot. You could see it's blinking at a much higher level. So what happens is the cup is telling me what the temperature is that came out of the coffee pot, and that's in here. So right now it is at the piping hot level, and now it just has to calibrate itself as it comes down to the temperature that I've set. So we'll just kind of keep watching and see. It's now been 15 minutes, and it's still at the piping hot level. Well, I'm back. It's been a half hour, and a couple things of note. One is the temperature in the cup did come down to where I set it. It's been there for just over 10 minutes, I would say. That it got there, and it stayed there, and it's the temperature that I set. I mean, I could tell. So that's really good. It looks like it's stayed there a little while. And what I'll do is, before giving you a summary and a review, I'll also try it with the sippy top. And I just want to see what it's like using that. So right now it's been, like I said, it's been 30 minutes. And by the way, if I do decide to go to the higher setting, which is piping hot, instead of hot, which I have on now, 140 degrees, the difference is that it would be about 45 minutes without the top that it would last. It would be a lot longer with the top, of course, probably up to 3 hours with the top on it. So the top is a nice change, to be quite honest with you. I think it's kind of clever. Personally, my guess is I'll lose it. I don't know when, but I think it'll be quickly that I'll lose it. But I think the top is a nice thing to have. Like I said, it makes it mobile. I can move around. I can go to my office and do some work with my coffee. I kind of like that. So let's see, last step, how is it with the sippy tops? So far, so good. We're over a half hour, and it is still on the temperature that I set it to be at. So if I put a measurement in there, it should tell me it's 140 degrees. Well, good morning. It's bright, early, and cold today. So it's been about 20 minutes since I've poured my coffee, and I'm slowly sipping it with my clear plastic sippy top. And it works really well, very well. Nothing is dripping anywhere else. It's not laying in the bottom, so that works just fine. The temperature right now is piping hot because it's still that from the coffee maker, I guess. And we have a full charge. So all I did was put it under the coffee maker. After it was done, I pressed the on button on here and set it to hot, and it was perfect. So I do want to mention to you, I forgot to mention last night, after I finished my coffee, the automatic shutoff shuts it off. I think it's 10 seconds when it's empty. So when it was empty, it automatically shut off. And if, for for some reason you leave some liquid in it and it stays on, it does shut off, I think, on its own with something in it after a couple hours. So why don't we move on to the summary? Well, let's do the summary for our next mug. So this will be a combination of my hands-on as well as a guest reviewer has input to me. So what you'll hear is the reviews of two different people in two different places. So I'm going to read a bit also, so don't mind that. And here we go. So we've had the mug long enough and used it enough times to get a pretty good feel for the next mug. The temperature control, number one. What we set it at, whether it be piping hot or hot, both work great. The other reviewer loves piping hot and is so happy that it stays at that nice, very warm temperature for them because that's the way they enjoy their beverages. And they use the words very hot. The cover is very, very effective, easy to drink out of. We both agree with that. Effective in that it not only keeps it warm, of course, because that's what one of the things, but for a much longer time and a significantly longer amount of time. And it's not inconvenient to use it. It snaps on and off easily, easy to clean. Don't forget there's an auto shut off. So once you're empty from beverages, it'll shut itself off in seconds. If there's some beverages in it and it doesn't feel any movement, it'll shut itself off, though that takes a bit more time, which is over an hour before it would shut off. The one cumbersome thing, I think you saw it in my personal video and the other reviewer, it's a little bit cumbersome to find the button and to turn it on and to press it a second time, in my case for hot, a third time in their case for piping hot. So that's an inconvenience, probably is the right wording for that. And having to turn it on at all versus having it turn on by itself when you pour a beverage into it. Those are probably two things that are a little bit downers. But again, they're not showstoppers. The price is reasonable, as I said. It's just under $100. As far as the cup itself and using it, the feel is great. It really is a nice size. I got the 14 ounce. They're both the 14 ounce mugs. The size is right. It's easy to handle. Yes, the handle is good. Also, we both got the black color. The charging, jury's out a little bit. My charging has shown it takes a bit of time for it to charge up. But I haven't seen that with the other reviewers, so it could simply be the first time that I charged it versus someone that's had it a bit longer. So all in all, this seems to be a winner. It's a good product. It's a solid product. We both use the word solid for it. And they have a line of other products that go along with this. So it looks very, very promising for NextMug.